Okay, so this is a little bit more information on the way that we're going to use our timetables. All right. So, for example, this is a very basic timetable of some questions that you may get during the week. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw a few things on there so you can actually see. So, over this side, okay, where I've just sort of drawn around a circle, that's telling you exactly where the bus stops. Okay, so there's a stop at Clayton Street, there's a stop at Brookfield Road, Hospital, Green Park, and so on. Okay, now up here it tells you how many buses there are. Okay, so there's 4 buses here. So we've got 1 bus, 2 buses, 3 buses, and 4 buses. Okay, so for example, if somebody said, what time does bus 4 stop at Green Park? Okay, so you've got to be in the bus 4 column. Then you've got to go to Green Park. You go all the way down. You go, okay, here. So if somebody said, what time does bus 4 stop at Green Park? It would be 8:35 a.m. Okay. Now, if we're looking at some time aspect of the timetable, we'll go, how long does bus 3 take to get from Clayton Street to Green Park? Okay, so we have a look at Clayton Street on bus 3, and then we have a look at Green Park. And then what we have to do is we have to figure out how long there is between there. So if we hopped on the bus at Clayton Street, we get on there at 8:10, and we get off at Green Park at 8:47. So we've got to work out the difference between 8:10 and 8:47. Okay, so it's just simple of 8:47 take away 8:10. Okay, and that's 37 minutes. All right. So that's how a very basic timetable will work. I'll show you a slightly more detailed one, which we'll use. Okay, so this is the real timetable for Bairnsdale to Melbourne. Okay. Once again, remember over this side. Oops, hang on. I'll get my drawing tool there for that one. Over this side, that is where all the stations are. Okay, so we've got Bairnsdale Station, then Lindenow, Stratford, Sale, and all that, and then it says change service, and so on. Okay. Now, what you have to really, really pay close attention to is the headings. Okay, the headings are up there. So this one here, it says Bairnsdale to Melbourne. Okay, that's a really important one because if you scroll down, this one here says Melbourne to Bairnsdale. Okay, so there's 2 different timetables here. One is if you're leaving from Bairnsdale. The other one is if you're leaving from Melbourne. So it's very important to have a look at that. Okay. Now we'll go back up here. So that's first important. Then what you've got to do is go, okay, what days of the week? Okay. Here we can see that's Monday to Friday. In this area is all the Monday to Friday trains. In this area, we have Saturdays. And in this area are the Sunday ones. Okay. So that's how to quickly look at it of like, so what stations there are, where the train's actually going, and what day the train's actually going on. All right. The next most important thing is to have a look at, there's a difference between a train and a coach. So the coach is the bus. So for example, if you have a look at this one, this is a train, and this one here is a coach. So they're totally different. Some people prefer to go on a bus, whereas other people prefer to go on a train. But you've got to have a look at it. So for example, this coach doesn't actually start in Bairnsdale, it only starts in Sale. So you can't catch anything here. Whereas the Bairnsdale one, you can catch a coach here at 4:35, or you can catch a train here at 6:10. Okay, totally up to you. Now, generally the way that we would use this is, for example, if I left Bairnsdale on a Thursday, okay, now even though it doesn't say Thursday up here, we know it's Monday to Friday, okay? So that includes all the days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if I said I left on the train at 6:10 on Thursday, so that would be this one. We'd have a look at it. What time would I arrive in Warragul? Okay, so we have a look at that 6:10 and we scroll down. We've got to make sure that we stay in the same column. Now, the good thing is the columns are different colours for the train and the coach. That sort of helps us out because you can see that the train ones are purple and the coach ones are white. Now, that's not going to be the case in all the timetables that you read. But as I said, we start at 6:10. We've got to make sure you go all the way down this column. So just to help you out, bring my drawing tool back. Okay. We go all the way down this column. All right, until we find where Warragul is. Okay, and here we find Warragul because we look over here. There's Warragul. So we put a circle around Warragul, and then we go all the way across there. So that is the time there. So if I left Bairnsdale on a Thursday at 6:10 in the morning, I would get to Warragul at 8:18. Okay. Now that could be one of the questions that you look at for a time, and that's some of the things you need to know. So, for example, if you need to meet someone at Warragul at 8 o'clock, well, you wouldn't use the 6:10 one. You'd have to use the earlier one to get there at 7:11. Okay, because then if you're supposed to meet them at 8 o'clock, you get there at 8:18, you're too late. They've already left. Okay, so that's why it's important to be able to read a timetable. Now, the other one that we have, as I showed in the other one, is we go like, how long did it take? So from Bairnsdale to Warragul, how long was I sitting on the train for? Okay, so we just got to have a look at the hours and the minutes. So sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a bit harder. But this one here is a bit easier because 6:10 and 8:18, we just have a look. There's 2 hours added to the 6, and there's 8 minutes added to the minutes. So it's just 2 hours and 8 minutes. Okay, whereas some other times it's a bit hard because it's not quite that easy. But that is how you learn to read a timetable, and you do that. There's many different trains. So, for example, if I wanted to be in Warragul by 11 o'clock, where would I have to leave from? Okay, so the very first on a Thursday. Okay, so you have a look at Warragul. Where does the train get to close to 11 o'clock? Okay, we have a look here. So that's this one here. Okay, now the only way you can get there is by being at sale at 9:20. All right. Now, obviously, you could take the earlier one, but then you'd be there for 3 hours. All right. So that is why it's important to read a timetable because when you actually do start travelling on public transport, you need to plan your journey to make sure that you get there on time. So that is how you read this timetable. I'm going to give you this timetable as well as others this week, and that way there, hopefully, you show me some pretty good skills in being able to read a timetable as well as practicing your elapsed time on there. So hopefully you enjoyed that and good luck.